Hello and welcome to the Comic Conspiracy episode 371 for the week of October 9th, 2018. This is Ryan Higgins, who's here with me this week.
Brock Sager.
Kevin Sharp. And would like to introduce a special guest.
Just yell.
This is Josh.
And Charlie.
Scott Shea is who is down there. And they're all playing. They have very important Marvel Puzzle Quest things to deal with now. So we're just going to go straight into the news. You know, we actually forgot to do our sales charts.
It's not that we forgot to do it. You just weren't here.
It's when I wasn't here, and then we never did it. So next week, I believe the regular sales charts for September are out. So we'll do 2 months worth of sales charts next week.
I got to remember what came out 2 months ago?
Yep.
Shit.
It's in my show notes, and I was like, holy shit, I never did the sales charts. So we'll do that next week. New York Comic Con was this past weekend, and you guys follow along, pay attention to all the hubbubs.
Most of it.
Some.
Charlie, so they did a panel with Jodie Whittaker, the new Doctor.
Showed the episode and
at New York Comic Con. So that's cool that she was actually, you think she'd be with the BBC doing something for the worldwide simulcast, but she was.
Oh yeah, I'm
she was
sure
at New York Comic Con.
There's tons of people complaining in the UK. They always complain when
when we steal their doctors.
Yes.
Well, New York Comic Con next to San Diego Comic Con is the biggest American comic convention. So it makes sense.
And if I'm not mistaken, it seemed like it was a very late edition. Like it was not.
Didn't Dan Slott host the panel too?
No, I don't think so.
He hosted something. Oh, I think he hosted the panel with her at the Marvel booth. I think that's what it was. Yeah. He's a big Doctor Who fan. I have a crap load of news from Comic-Con and from right around the time of Comic-Con. I'm just going to go through this in no particular order, just as it's on my feed here. So we're going to bounce back between movies, TV shows, comic books. There's a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. Lobo, who here actually saw Krypton Season 1? Did anyone actually watch it?
I didn't
finish
it yet.
Did you? Okay.
It was fucking awesome.
Krypton is legitimately great.
It is really good.
And we're getting Lobo as one of the villains of Season 2. I don't know the actor, but his name
looks
is
legit.
Emmett Scanlon. Yeah, he. I mean, the problem with Lobo is like, as big sideways as he is tall. Like Lobo is just this beefy ass character. No human looks like that, so it's a little tough. But it looks like Rob Zombie Lobo. But I mean, I don't know what else you do with Lobo. He looks like Lobo. He looks good.
He even has the protective codpiece, the ginormous thing.
Yeah.
My only fear, and I was so relieved when I saw this picture, is they'd go with the emo New 52 Lobo.
No.
They learned from their mistake on that.
Definitely
make
not.
The daughter look more emo, not the original.
Yeah, like I said, we're gonna quick hit a bunch of topics here. So if anyone has any specific stuff,
I'm
they
excited
want
for
to talk
season
about.
2 of Krypton.
I still need to finish season 1.
Come on, get on it, Charlie.
Well, the problem is this week, between this week and next week, everything starts back up again.
I already have I finished a few shows during the hiatus that I was backlogged on, but I did not get far enough, and so Flash is on tonight. What else? Are they all starting this week?
No, half of them are starting this week.
Yeah, because Titans is Friday.
Yeah,
Arrow starts on
next week.
Arrow next week. Yeah.
Okay.
So there's,
and I know Supergirl changed to Sundays.
Yep.
Yeah, they're moving the shows around, which is fine.
Yeah, it's Black Lightning and Flash this week, if I recall.
Yeah, that's right. It's Black Lightning. Yeah. Man. And Daredevil is 2 weeks?
The 19th?
Yeah, I think it's 2 weeks. So next week, Titans is this Friday.
And I'm still slowly making it through Luke Cage Season 2.
Yeah, I'm like on episode 9 or 10. I really like Season 2 compared to the back half of Season 1. I like it a lot. And compared to Jessica Jones Season 2. So I was hoping to get through at least Luke Cage, if not Iron Fist Season 2 before Daredevil started. That didn't happen. So we'll see when I get to polish off those shows. But yeah, good to actually make some progress on those. Throw another show on your list, Charlie. The Mandalorian. Jon Favreau's Star Wars show. Production has begun. They showed the first shot from it, and it looks like a Mandalorian or someone in Mandalorian armor. That would be Boba Fett's armor for those that are not the most.
It would be the
Star
armor
Wars.
that Boba Fett wears.
Yes, correct.
So what you're saying more is I'm going to have to pay for another streaming service.
We're all paying for the Disney one. No question asked. Come on. Who isn't buying
Come on,
that?
you have kids, Charlie.
I'm
Josh doesn't even have kids, and he's going to pay for it.
I'm still hoping that I can just do the subscribe for a month, binge watch a bunch of stuff, unsubscribe for a few months, subscribe for a month.
Just leave it on. Who cares? The fact that there's going to be the fact that there might be a Tom Hiddleston Loki TV show, it's like not even a question. Of course, it's incredible. A Star Wars TV show.
The clips, the little still shots
from
Mandalorian.
This is
Josh, by the way, looked fantastic
from Star Wars.
Yeah,
I mean, it looks like Star Wars. You know,
looks like Star Wars.
They're going to be very expensive TV shows. They're multi-million-dollar episodes. I assume Game of Thrones level, if not higher, at least production budget-wise.
Haven't we built enough Star Wars sets out in the desert that we have plenty of stuff to use now?
And then they all become tourist attractions.
Yeah.
So, Ryan, is The Mandalorian a bigger selling point for you for that Disney service than Marvel content?
It doesn't matter. I've died either way. I mean, it's totally...
I'm talking about the bait on the hook for you, your excitement level. Star Wars
is just Disney.
It depends on what it is, right? I mean, if there are some Marvel shows that I would have no real interest in, but I'm sure I'd still watch it. For the exclusives, I'm pretty even with Star Wars and Marvel right now. I don't love or hate either of them. I think they've had their faults, but I still will support the franchises, almost with no question. And I hope, and they're more good than bad. So yeah, there's all, and especially for the Disney exclusive stuff, like Disney, the animation, the hope for good forms of old content, and the potential for new Disney animation stuff. Oh, it's just not even a question.
Well, you're an automatic subscriber for this.
Yeah,
I do remember your quote, how you hardly buy any Blu-rays anymore except Marvel, Disney, and Star Wars.
Well, I buy like the superhero stuff. So I buy Marvel, Disney, Star Wars, and DC.
So then this Disney service is like your...
I mean, it's the same joke I made when the DC one was announced. Someone's like, "What would you even pay for that?" And I'm like, "I will not pay more than $99.99 a month for that. I refuse to. Well, maybe I'd pay $100. I refuse to pay more than $150 a month for this. Meaning, I will pay whatever they ask me for, because why not? And especially if they do like a year option, like DC did for $5 a month for 15 months. Like, sure, whatever. It's $5. Darn, I still have Starbucks, and I just pretend I don't have Starbucks one day, and that pays for my DC streaming service for a month. Big deal. It's $5.
Do you not have Starbucks for a day?
Just turn your mic on too.
I turned it off because I was eating.
No, I still have Starbucks and my DC streaming service. It's fine. It's only $5.
Oh God, please stop him.
But it's Disney. Who's not going to get this? You're going to get it.
Yeah,
you're going to get
kids,
it.
So.
I'm sure I will get it eventually. I'm not sure I will be day one though.
What are you talking about? What do you mean?
I won't be day one.
You don't. You're weird with your shows.
I'm weird with my shows.
Yeah, you're.
Do you know who watches the same shows?
You watch everything.
Me and Toby.
Like I said, you're weird with your shows.
Toby is here in the background.
He's off the podcast. That's fine. Don't worry about it. That's what he told me. He's out. So sorry.
Didn't tell me he was out.
Yeah. Josh took his place.
Josh did take his place.
Are you eating peanut M&Ms?
No.
It's a sweet salad from Trader Joe's.
It's a sour ball.
Oh, I thought you were just eating
he put like candy in his mouth. I'm like, you haven't even finished your salad. Eat the salad first.
Anyway, you don't do you, I mean, Netflix, I'm sure you do Netflix. I mean, any interest in DC or the Disney streaming?
DC, I need more content, more new content.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's why I didn't snap on it at Comic-Con with these guys.
Yeah.
And
you were right.
Disney, sure. Yeah. I'm more interested in Disney than the DC one just because of the variety of things. But yeah, I'm kind of in the Charlie camp on this.
Yeah.
Probably not day one.
I've reached something I never thought I would reach, and that's a oversaturation point on content at this point.
Oh, I'm way
paying for more content is not a huge draw for me right now.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
when you have so much backlog you have to watch anyway.
And then once you have the bill for it, then you feel like I've got to watch at least X number of things off this service in a month to make it.
This is the thing like with World of Warcraft with me, okay, right? I buy the 6-month subscription. I play or I don't play. It doesn't matter. It's always on. I never turn it off. I will never turn it off because when I want to just watch it, it's there. I don't want to have to like dick around, log in, get my credit card, now I subscribe, blah, blah, blah. I just want to log in. I don't care. It's not worth it for me to unsubscribe.
Yeah, I mean,
people love me.
I don't watch Netflix all the time, but I just pay for it.
Yeah.
I mean, I could shut it off every
I will
other
say
month.
I travel a lot, so when Josh is out on the road,
How about when Scott is?
Josh doesn't know about Scott.
Oh, okay.
Josh also talks in the first person. It's great because most of the TVs in the hotels that I stay in, you can log in to Netflix on the TV. I'm like, yeah, sure, thank you.
Yeah.
Better than watching on my iPad.
So,
But don't you have to like allow that TV access every single time?
As long as you're just not logged into multiple at the same time.
Yes. See, because you have to you have to allow.
It's like a code or something you have to put in.
Put the code in and
it's
stuff.
no big deal.
Put in your email.
Yeah.
You have to put in your password, and then
Why don't you
it
just get
logs
a
in.
tablet and watch it on your tablet?
He just said
Because
he had an iPad.
it's a sweet TV. It's like a big screen TV that you can watch your stuff on if you want to take the 2 minutes and 20 seconds it takes to type in your email address and your password. 2 minutes, 25 seconds.
Well,
max.
this is a good point to bring up. DC released the official start dates, or not start dates, but start time, rough times
Start
for
orders.
the next year and change of DC Universe, their streaming app. And this is exactly what I thought they were going to do. There's going to be very little overlap with these shows, but this is, again, something to keep you paid month after month. Titans runs from October to mid-December. Young Justice, I'm assuming this is like part 1 of season 3, runs between January and February. Doom Patrol runs from mid-February through mid-May, which that's a long-ass time for March, April. That's like 3 full months. October. I mean, I guess it's the bar. The bar looks bigger than the Titans bar, which I'm wondering if there's somehow going to be more episodes of Doom Patrol than Teen Titans or Titans. I don't know. Young Justice, the second part of season 3, and Swamp Thing both start in June. Swamp Thing runs through into September. Stargirl runs September through mid-November, and then Harley Quinn is the final one, starting mid-October and running into 2020, which is the Harley Quinn animated series. I would expect we will probably also see the Titans live-action season 2, which was officially announced at New York Comic Con, to probably pick up back half of October, early November 2019, because I would give it 1 year later, and it would be towards halfway through Stargirl and into the first half of Harley Quinn. So
Stargirl's live action or
live action, yep. Young Justice and Harley Quinn are the elements. And it's funny because that's actually, when you think about it, I'm actually surprised. I mean, I guess it makes sense that they're not overlapping, but they have so many shows that they're going to start overlapping eventually if these all continue. Mm-hmm. There's multiple other shows in some form of pre-production, which
is fine because that way that's what you want in a service. You don't want one program at a time. Only.
Yeah. Well,
like HBO has tons.
And also,
you can watch X, Y, and Z.
I do not believe these are set up. These are not set up, sorry, to be binge. These are weekly. So it could make sense to have one show on Wednesday, one show on Friday,
well, I think
one
it
show
also
on Saturday.
depends on if they keep the content around.
Well, they will.
To me, they're just ramping up content, just like all the other services did. None of the services went day one. We're going to release massive amount of content.
No.
Make sure we get this going, and then just build it up.
Yep. There's not going to be 1,000 different shows day one, but there will be a decent amount.
We already have 1,000 shows.
Yeah, I know. Let me see. This was one I know Toby's going to be excited for, and I'm very excited for most of this. We heard that Brian Michael Bendis is working on a new line of comics for DC, another imprint of his that he's sort of overseeing. We finally got the answer of what's going on. So Brian Michael Bendis and Patrick Gleason are working on a new Young Justice comic, which will feature Bart Allen, Impulse, Connor Kent Superboy, and Tim Drake Robin. Now, the fact that they call Tim Drake Robin, the fact that Bart Allen's just back as Impulse, and Connor's been nowhere to be seen except for sort of like the future Titans stuff with Tim Drake, where the evil version of him was like, what about your friend Connor? And he's like, who's Connor? So clearly, very soon, very, very soon, Connor Kent is going to be back, and Bart, I think, is in next arc of Flash. I believe Bart's going to be brought into the because he showed up already, and brought into the main continuity. So, very excited for those characters back. Some of my favorite characters at DC, and Young Justice is obviously a big name. But there was other books that's going to be part of this. There's a new character named Naomi, who we don't know anything about. Her book is going to be written by David Walker and Jamal Campbell. That's going to be Jamal Campbell's the artist on that. There is a new where are we? Dial H for Hero comic, which will be written by Mark Russell, who did the Flintstones, and Stephen Byrne will do the art. And then one that I'm really looking forward to, there's a Wonder Twins comic by Sam Humphries and artist Joe Quinones, who's a great artist. I'm super excited for that Wonder Twins comic. That'd be really fun. Dial H, I like Mark Russell a ton. We'll see. I've never been big on Dial H. And Naomi, new character. We don't know anything about her.
Dial H is like a Monster of the Week book. I mean, that's what it has been in the past.
There's been good attempts at trying to do it in the modern day, but the book never clicked with me.
It's garbage.
Yeah.
But the way I look at it is typically Dial H isn't the book that I would be like, this would be targeted towards this audience. So I'm curious to see what this iteration looks like.
And these are in continuity DC Universe monthly superhero comics coming to comic stores. These aren't like weird side off stories going to Walmart or anything like that. So these are big. This is going to be real comic stuff. So very excited, very, very excited. We got more comic news. Oh, sorry. Before that, while this was going on, we did have no comic book artist or writer passed away this week, as far as I know. However, Scott Wilson, who's an actor that I think a lot of us recognize from Walking Dead as Herschel from seasons 2, he was a big part of that season. Did pass away at the age of 76 on I believe that was October 6th. So I was fortunate.
It was Saturday before Walking Dead premiered.
Yeah. They even had like a little in honor of him when it went up, so they got that up pretty quick. So, yeah, never like hearing about actors or people pass away, but I know he's in this season.
Yeah, the flashbacks.
Yeah, so he had already filmed his stuff for this season, so he's going to be in this season of Walking Dead. So I guess the show's lucky that they finished that before he passed away, but I don't know that they've announced, or I don't know if they've said
they had a little memory of after season opener.
I don't believe they mentioned how he died. And 76 is still fairly younger on the younger side of older age these days. So
you can just die at that age.
Yeah.
Happens. You can die at any age.
Sure.
This is true.
Sure.
It's true. Scott died.
We got Josh.
Charlie's Comic-Con news of the week. I know this. 2019 is the 25th anniversary of Kurt Busiek and Alex Ross's Marvel series. There's going to be a new set of variant covers across all the DC books of Alex Ross.
All the Marvel books.
Yeah.
Yes, all the Marvel books.
You just said DC.
Did I say DC? Sorry, all the Marvel.
I was just having fun wishful thinking.
Sorry. It's going to be a bunch of DC variants featuring Alex Ross art. No, a bunch of Marvel books featuring Marvel's style artwork from the comic that him and Kurt Busiek did.
Are those going to be open order?
Probably. Now there's also
I
word.
hope so.
Now there's also
I will be
word.
so mad.
Did you see the cover, the Fantastic Four cover?
Yeah, it's a great cover.
So good.
Yeah.
So good.
Marvels, for people that don't, if you've never read it.
Give me 2.
One of my absolute favorite Marvel miniseries of all time. It's from the review of a reporter who was, I think he was a kid in the 40s.
He was
an
like
adult.
He was not a kid, but he
he's
was
like a teenager.
like a Jimmy Olsen age.
Yeah. So he's around when Captain America, the Human Torch, Namor, the Invaders, when kind of that stuff was going on. He's then a full grown adult working in New York City when the Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, the X-Men, all that come out. So it's the birth of the Marvel Universe through the eyes of a reporter.
Wasn't he the same guy that ended up being the head, part of Frontline?
I don't don't know. I don't think they did anything with him after Marvel. There was like a Marvels 2 that they crapped out a number of years later, but like had nothing.
It was like
Yeah,
Eye
really
of the
excited
Camera.
right there.
It's really bad.
It was Eye of the Camera or something.
Yeah.
But
I think Kirby's wrote that, but
I thought they took that character and put him in the Frontline comic that they tied in with all the stuff.
he'd be super old because it is supposed to be like in the 40s
40s,
and
yeah.
60s. It's
it ends in the early or it ends with the last issue of the
Gwen Stacy,
Death
right?
of Gwen Stacy, which is
Yeah.
like 73.
yeah.
So, and then in that issue, he's probably, they don't say his age, but he's probably in his 60s,
Yeah.
50s or 60s.
Yeah. I think he's retiring or had just retired or something. So, yeah. But there is talk of a Marvel's 25th anniversary project as well. So we could be hearing more from them. Alex Ross just does not do interior art anymore. So it'd be really cool if they're going to do some more stuff with Marvels.
Have you seen that Marvelocity hardcover, that art book?
Which one?
With the billion covers.
The Alex Ross Chip Kid book.
Oh, yeah.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. A couple other stories coming to Marvel. Their War of the Realms is coming in 2019. That's going to be Jason Aaron and Russell Dodderman. That's going to be the big Thor arc. I assume this will tie in with other titles. Don't think it's going to be just Thor. But
Is Conan going to be in it?
What are we up to, like 3 Conan series now? It's crazy. They're going to crap out.
They've announced 3 Conan series.
enough.
Yeah.
Really?
One's enough.
One's enough.
Wait,
One's enough.
I didn't hear that they announced 3.
Yeah, I think it's 3 total. Yep.
Yeah, 3.
Yeah.
Conan.
all
Conan
his-
and
I don't have the
Savage
info
Sword
here.
of Conan.
Yeah. I don't have the info here.
King
So
Conan.
Yeah.
Savage
Is
Sword of Conan.
Aaron doing all 3 of them?
no, I think he's just doing the main one.
Yeah,
One's
it's really
enough.
weird. Yeah.
the main one is.
Just how about have some consistent storytelling in one?
Yeah, why don't
before
you
we give
test
it
the water?
3?
Yeah, test
Yep.
the waters with 1.
That's not how Marvel rolls, baby.
Oh, sorry. I'm in the wrong business.
Let's just throw 3 piles of poop at the wall and see which one sticks, and then cut
Well,
the other
at least
one.
the Jason Aaron one's going to be incredible, but
Yeah.
They threw a dart at the thing. All right, what character we having Jason Aaron do? Conan. How many series are we going to base around
Yeah.
this? 3.
And who are the other ones going to be? Let's put Jim and
No,
Rob on it.
They'll put their big guys on it for the first 12 or 18 issues, and then they'll just kind of farm it out to the scrubs after that. So
Farm it out to the scrubs.
Marvel Comics also. Another quarter has passed. Time to kill a character. It's Daredevil this time. Daredevil's getting killed off in a couple months. Sure. And that's actually that's Charles Soule hit the finish. The last arc that he's going to be writing as part of Daredevil. However, don't fear, because they're already announced Man Without Fear, a new series by Jed McKay and artist Danilo Bayruth. I'm not familiar with either of them, but that's right. It's launching in January 2019. It is a weekly comic that will take the place of Daredevil,
This is already just tanking.
and we'll see what happens. They haven't
Wait
said.
a second. Is it going to be called Daredevils?
It's called Man Without Fear.
Men
So,
Without Fear.
man.
And maybe a
M-A-N.
girl with a Daredevil outfit on.
M-A-N.
How do you hunt for somebody when you're blind?
He's got his little sonar
Yeah, radar.
sense.
So
Yeah.
radar.
So
for
Daredevil is quote
Say that
unquote
backwards.
dying.
Next month, we're on the
And-
way out.
So that would be November, and then in January a new series is launching.
Called Man Without Fear. No Daredevil, just Man Without Fear.
Right.
We don't know anything about it.
It's going to be an Iron Fist title.
Well, it was Black Panther last time.
It'll be whoever his protege
Yes.
was in the Soul Run.
They scrapped the Daredevil book a number of years back, and Black Panther took over, and then they relaunched Daredevil immediately into just a new number 1. So, yeah,
That was Mark Waid stuff, though.
yeah. It
wasn't
was
bad.
really. But the Black Panther was like, why is Black Panther taking over Daredevil's book? That makes no
Yeah.
sense. Let's see what else we got. What do we have here? This got announced over the. I think maybe we talked about this last week. I can't remember. Marvel Action. IDW is going to be publishing a bunch of Marvel comics. It's super weird. We've talked about this a few times. There's going to be a Spider-Man book published by IDW. So they announced a Black Panther book at Comic-Con being written by Kyle Baker. So Yeah, really weird. Really weird. That
So wait, hold on. Marvel's IDW is publishing books for Marvel.
Yeah,
Doesn't Marvel publish comics?
they don't. These are aimed at let's say an all ages audience. They are not kids comics specifically, but they are supposed to be maybe a book you would suggest people who have only seen the movies and never read a comic book before, and age kind of doesn't matter. We don't know.
I mean, IDW is already doing the Star Wars.
Right,
Yeah, they're doing
and that
Star
was
Wars
weird
stuff.
when they started
Yeah.
doing that too. But now we have more.
So what was the title you just said?
Marvel Action Black Panther?
Is this the Kyle Baker, as in The Shadow and Plastic Man and I Hate Saturn?
Kyle Baker. Yep, writing.
I didn't know if there was another Kyle Baker I hadn't
writing
heard
an
of.
all ages Black Panther comic for IDW. What a fucking world!
Wow, what a sentence.
Nothing I just said makes any sense
Right.
to anyone that's a comic book person.
I don't understand.
Yeah,
Josh doesn't understand.
Kyle Baker, who doesn't do books for all ages, is doing a Black Panther comic for IDW, who is not Marvel. And also, Kyle Baker's working for Marvel, but not because it's IDW. What? I don't know if Kyle Baker has done anything for Marvel.
Does he have kids?
Long time.
I can't think of a Kyle Baker Marvel
This is
ever.
how it went down.
I mean, he must have.
Kyle Baker, this is Marvel. We'd like you to write Black Panther.
No, this is IDW.
No, this is Marvel. We want you to write Black Panther. He says, no, I'm not working for Marvel.
This
Fine,
is how
then
John
write the
Byrne.
Black Panther book for IDW.
This is how they get around the John Byrne will never work for Marvel thing again, and they have him do a Marvel Action X-Men comic for IDW. There you go. That's how this happens.
I think I just heard Bryce creaming his pants.
No, you don't want a John Byrne comic about anything.
That was a cream. That was
No,
I'm just waiting for the Kids
you
Thanos
don't.
comic by Starlin.
He probably, yeah, he's definitely not working for Marvel. Oh no, I think him and Marvel made up.
What would Claremont do?
No, wait, isn't
Hopefully nothing.
but no, isn't there a rumor from New York about an ongoing Claremont X-Men book?
Right, so they Claremont did the X-Men Magneto, X-Men Black Magneto one-shot this past week, and he's done a couple little one-off things recently. There was talk of him.
That's why they put the J. Scott Campbell cover on that one.
Oh, he's doing all the covers. Oh. There is talk of him working on another X-Men book, but this has been an ongoing rumor for years since he stopped doing X-Men books. I don't know the truth to any of this. The rumor that goes around is that Marvel basically pays Claremont to not sue them. He gets a stipend from Marvel every year that says it's kind of like Stan Lee was. Again, I don't know what Stan Lee's current contract with Marvel is, but at the time it was sort of like, we're paying you, you're on staff, you do nothing, but that's fine. Please don't sue us. And that, be on our team, right?
Yeah, and as far as I understand, the contract also keeps a certain amount of exclusivity, so we can't go do
other stuff. Yeah. But again, I don't know the truth to that. I don't know how it currently stands. This is what we heard years ago, and he doesn't do anything, so I would assume.
He confirmed at some convention when somebody asked if he would write a book that he was still under contract with Marvel and couldn't.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, here's the Kyle Baker Marvel answer.
You do some covers or something?
Thanks to the internet. I'll hit these fast.
Yeah.
Marvel Super Special, the Howard the Duck movie adaptation.
That's sweet.
Night Mask.
Okay.
Do you remember Night Mask?
Yeah.
What the?
Yeah.
You remember what the?
Sure, of course.
Okay.
It's all like 80s, like early 80s.
Damage Control.
Oh, he
did an issue of that. With Dwayne McDuffie.
Yeah. Dwayne McDuffie.
Okay,
wrote
Marvel
Damage
Romance Redux.
Okay.
X-Men Fairy Tales.
Oh, that was a miniseries from a little while ago.
Okay. With CB.
Yeah, Cebulski. Yeah.
As the...
Or was it Yoshida?
Oh, right,
Yoshida,
yes. And then,
Akira
we fast forward to the 2000s, or no, that X-Men was in the 2000s. We fast forward to the end with Deadpool. It's a list of Deadpools that Kyle Baker worked on.
Oh, he did the Deadpool. Is it Deadpool Max?
Deadpool number 900, Deadpool Merc with a Mouth, Prelude to Deadpool Core, and Deadpool Max.
Yeah.
Yes.
He did all the Deadpool Max comics. Yeah. Yep. I knew that. I don't think I ever realized he did the other ones, but yeah, I remember he did the Deadpool ones. Yeah. So yeah, he's done some stuff for Marvel. Now he's going to be doing a kids Black Panther comic.
For IDW.
The weirdest thing.
Trash. But there might be a new character, just like Batman animated series had Harley in it.
Oh, yeah, it could be. There could be.
Someday it could be worth hundreds of dollars.
It might be.
So pick up those Kyle Baker, IDW, Black Panther kid.
And so you'll be getting multiples.
I'll be getting
just in
0
case.
of them.
Well, but you're invalidating your own argument, Scott.
By the time it's worth something,
It's okay. He'll buy it on eBay.
Oh yeah.
I will be dead.
You and Jim will be fighting over. You and Jim will be fighting over auctions for it.
If it is, I will trade it for my Batman Damned.
Can I trade you this kid's comic for Batman's dick? You guys remember Batman Year One? That was a good book. Yeah, it's a good title.
Solid.
Remember how there was a miniseries that was within the published ongoing monthly comic book?
Brilliant, right?
Yeah, it doesn't. You know how that doesn't happen anymore?
Because that's stupid.
Because why not just publish the regular comic and then you can also publish a side miniseries at the same time and just make more money?
Tell us more.
Well, Joshua Williamson, writer of The Flash, is like, fuck that noise. I'm doing Flash Year One in the Flash comic.
Thank God.
Yeah, I like that. I
Thank
like
God.
that. So we're getting a Flash Year One, getting a little flashback, going to redo Barry
Batman.
Allen's origin and everything.
Green Arrow was separate.
Green Lantern did. Jeff Johns did Secret Origin within the Green Lantern
Within the
title.
Green Lantern.
Yeah.
And Green Arrow was within, correct?
No, year one was year
Kevin
one.
Smith stuff?
Year one was a separate book.
But it was
a mini.
Yeah, but it was a mini when Green Arrow was canceled.
I think so.
Yeah,
So Green Arrow Year One?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a trade.
by Winnick.
Oh, no. Sorry. Huh? No. That's a Jock stuff. That's
That's a Jock, yeah.
that's
Diggle?
Diggle, yeah, Andy Diggle and Jock. Yeah. Sorry, I completely
That was
forgot
right
about that.
after
Yeah,
the Winnick?
I believe that was when it was. Yeah, I believe that was when it was canceled. Yeah. So yeah, I love the Flash comic. I love Joshua Williamson. He does such a good job with the Flash. I'm super excited. Year One stories can. I don't know that we need to kind of go his origin another
I like how
again, but
I like how DC hops from we're going to do Year One stories to Secret Origin to let's go back to Year One.
well, I'm curious what is going to be going on with Flash at that point when they do this story, because I kind of wonder if the Flash will also be in something else at the same time. I don't want to go into the Heroes of Crisis spoilers. I mean, it's been a couple of weeks, but we'll keep it light. The Flash family was greatly influenced by that issue, and I'm curious. This sounds like this may come in around the time of maybe towards the end of Heroes in Crisis. So I wonder if
So it's what, issue 58?
I wonder.
60?
Well, maybe something like that. So we don't know. There's no. I don't see.
Or is it's next year?
It's next year, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't see a date on here of what issue it's going to be, but I would like to think that.
Flash has been really good.
What's that?
Flash has been really good under Williamson.
Oh, it's been amazing. So I just don't know what.
The new forces have been a little weird recently.
Yeah, but it's okay to kind of just kick back a little bit because, I mean, it gives us something different to look at.
It's a bit of a different plot, which I'm all right with. But I'm just very curious what the state of the Flash family is going to be when they're doing this, if that's why they're going to take this sort of break within the series to do this while other things are going on after the Heroes in Crisis. So, very sad news for myself, which because I really like the show. I have not read too much of the comics, but I would like to read more of the comics. Robert Kirkman's TV show Outcast and a comic book Outcast ending. So they just aired their second season here in America finally. Came out 2 years ago overseas and never got picked up past that. We finally got the second season here. And they're ending the show, and now they're ending the comic. I really like that first season of Outcast. So that's wrapping up.
I've enjoyed the comic. It's been really good. I haven't had a chance to watch the TV show, but if it's anything like the comic,
Yeah.
I'll hopefully watch
Yeah,
it.
I like it quite a bit. Yeah, I like
I
it.
haven't watched any of the TV show. I read the first few arcs of the comic, and now I'm behind.
Yeah, I
You're
think
behind on a lot, Charlie.
Yes, I am.
Charlie does a lot. Look, he games Marvel Puzzle Quest
Right now.
like nobody's business.
Jesus.
See, the thing is, Charlie used to be the guy that would be doing that, working here, watching TV, doing bags of boards, and ringing up a customer all at the same time. What happened, Charlie?
He does it
What
all.
happened is they increased the amount of content being output by
can't do 5 things at the same time.
He does
24
5 things,
hours
but
a
he
day.
can't watch 2 programs at the
Charlie
same time.
needs a moratorium on all new content for like 6 months. Let everything catch up.
I wouldn't
think
even.
it's like a year.
I wouldn't even make a dent in what I have. Like, I would get through some of it, but I'd be like, okay, well, sure, more stuff goes in my backlog. It's insane. I probably have 10,000 hours of content. I mean, between video games and comics unread and books unread. I mean, just don't even talk about movies and TV shows.
Well, if you're talking books, I mean, that just backloads you. That's like hours and hours and hours.
Yeah, no.
If you have to,
video games
flip
alone
pages
is probably
and actually
10,000
read.
hours.
Jeez.
Oh
Who
my
wants to do
gosh.
that?
Old people do that.
Yeah.
Josh doesn't do that.
I'm caught up in the current books.
Josh gets all his story arcs from Marvel Puzzle Quest.
He's a fake fan.
His Kindle reads it to him.
We go one last
Josh hires out people to read to him.
big
And it
story.
just summarizes.
One
Just
last
sum it up.
big story
Cliff notes of life.
from just prior to recording this podcast. I actually got through the stuff pretty quick. This is the big one, though. I was hoping for it. You were hoping for it. We were all hoping for it. We all told the internet it should happen. It is happening. Warner Brothers has picked up James Gunn to write and direct.
Possibly direct, right? That's not confirmed.
Sorry
to step on your headline.
Let me look at
Stop that shit.
the GameSpot quote.
Yes, because we're quoting GameSpot
That
as the news source.
okay, no, I'm sorry. Yes, it is
That's
confirmed.
the day we live in, an age we live in.
Well, GameSpot's a really big site, and this is a direct quote from Warner Brothers. It is confirmed that James Gunn is writing in the next installment of the Suicide Squad franchise, Suicide Squad 2, written by James Gunn, and let's be honest, probably directing it as well.
Yeah.
Well, they got rid of what's his name, didn't they?
Chris Pratt is Rick Flag, Zoe is Enchantress,
Nah.
Batista is Killer Croc, Rooker is Boomerang, and Bradley Cooper is Deadshot. There
No,
you go.
see-
Dunzos.
Only noobs recast those characters when you have so many members of the
Josh
Suicide
ain't no
Squad.
noob.
When you have so many members of the Suicide Squad. Ding dong.
You
when you have
didn't
so
turn it
many,
off.
when you have so many, probably not turn that off.
No.
Just remember which name it is. So you have so many members of the Suicide Squad, you don't need to recast those characters. You just have the cast of Guardians of the Galaxy playing new characters in Suicide Squad.
Hunting down the old characters in
So
Suicide
I never
Squad.
make fan lists. I have made a fan list. Because I don't know actors, but until they're in superhero movies. But once they're in a superhero movie, then I'm good. Because I know who they are now. And I know who they should play. And I am confident on 6 of the 7. There's one that I'm not confident on, and maybe you guys can help me. Chris Pratt, clearly Dr. Light, classic Teen Titans villain, turned, rapist later, but they can skip that out if they need to. Zoe Saldana is Vixen. Come on, no question asked. Dave Bautista, Major Disaster. Who love Major Disaster? Dude, he'd be so funny as Major Disaster. Vin Diesel is King Shark, voice only, of course, right? Continuing his classic voiceover roles. Now, Bradley Cooper, just Bradley Cooper, not Rocket Bradley Cooper, not his voice. Actual Bradley Cooper is Nemesis. Now, this is the one I'm a little shaky on. Michael Rooker, I'm going Count Vertigo, old Count Vertigo. I like it. I think it works. Not sold. If you got a better choice, let me know.
Calculator?
Michael Rooker.
You need something more weird than Calculator.
Yeah. And Karen Gillan is Nightshade.
What if he voiced Ragdoll?
Perfect. Michael Rooker?
Scott, I was arguing you have to include.
That's my choice.
You have to include the blockbuster.
With the orange shirt.
Yeah,
But see,
With the
you
purple
have
pants.
the problem that happens here is you have King Shark. That's your muscle,
Yeah.
right? So Nightshade's your magic. Dr. Light's your weird kind of leader. Vixen's your hero. That's on the team. Major Disaster. I guess Major Disaster and King Shark are your two kind of big guys. Nemesis is your shady rogue thief character or whatever. Right?
So you're cutting Rick Flag out of the equation.
Well, the whole pitch here is that it's not reusing any of those characters. So cast
but
the Guardians.
could you still
cast.
have Rick Flag from the other
Yeah,
movies?
yeah.
You still have all
Okay.
the characters that are from the previous Suicide
Do we
Squad.
have to?
But cast the entire
Not go near
Guardians
Margaret Robbie.
cast.
I will murder you.
Cast the entire Guardians cast as new characters in the Suicide Squad because obviously you could just take those characters, put them in the roles in Suicide Squad, and you're good to go. It's just like they could be the same characters, right? But
I just like the idea of rival Suicide Squad.
yeah. Well, and again, very easy to kill off characters if you want. You could kill off a few of the guys from the original Suicide Squad. You can kill one of these two people off, and you can merge the teams later down the road, right? And someone asked online, they're like, who or what? And this is actually maybe the better question: who's the Howard the Duck of the Suicide Squad? Who is the crazy?
Who was the Howard the Duck of the last one?
No, of Guardians. Because remember how they have Howard the Duck is sort of like the post cameo or post credit cameo, and then they sort of have him in the second one. Like, is there a DC equivalent?
Batmite.
Yeah, do Batmite? He could show
Ambush
up.
Bug.
Oh yeah.
Just in the background with a newspaper, that would be amazing.
I'm down with that.
Talkie Tawny.
Or standing in front of a camera doing a news broadcast.
So you guys can think about that. That's one of my big news stories from this week. It was a lot to talk about, but not,
Well, I can say this. I was struggling to think of a scenario I would be interested in Suicide Squad 2, but you have found a scenario.
A better theater?
James Gunn.
The theater was fine for that one. That was the Guardians 2.
So James Gunn is, obviously Squad is, it's not inspired by Guardians, but it definitely
Squad happened because of Guardians.
I think that's
It
probably
took a lot of cues from what made Guardians successful.
I think it would have happened either way, but the humor and violence of Guardians made Squad, I think, possible.
That's why this is a little bit disappointing for me, is that it's such the obvious choice. Like Warner Brothers going after James Gunn. But just imagine you heard James Gunn is writing and directing a Booster Gold movie.
That'd be cool, too.
Yeah. But what if the Suicide Squad 2 is R-rated?
No, but it's another colorful team of B-list characters.
Yeah.
It's like he's doing DC's Guardians, and it's just not... I'm not saying I won't see it. I'm not saying it won't be good. Who could even say at this point? I just mean it's so obvious. It would have been really fun and interesting if they'd gone. So James Gunn is directing Plastic Man. James Gunn is
while I agree with you, that would have been great. There is the reality of the fact that they already have certain people under contract, and this is already greenlit. And
it's sometimes the obvious thing is just fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see.
Yeah, he might end up doing Green Lantern Corps.
Well, and at this point, add another movie onto the docket for DC, so who knows what's going to even happen, right? Like, this can never happen.
Oh, did we talk about how awesome Batwoman looks?
Oh, yeah. It's hard to talk about the look of a character on an audio-only podcast, but if you do go Google, look around and check out Batwoman, yeah, she looks great. I think it's a good-looking costume. So, it looks like Batwoman. That's all I care about. So, random people on the internet really hate this lady. She's a human with skin. I'm sure she'll do fine. Like, I don't know. She was fine in everything I've seen her in. She was in Orange is the New Black. She was fine. Whatever. Like, Batwoman's a great character. I'm really curious to see what they're going to do with her. Can't wait for the crossover. Very, very excited.
So much TV.
That's a lot. So how long till we get Batman and Batwoman? It'll happen. It's going to happen.
You mean in a movie theater?
No.
On television?
In the Batgirl and the Batwoman TV show. When did because they brought Superman into Supergirl, and he's going to be now part of the crossover as well. How long till they bring Batman into Batwoman? Year 2? Probably year 2.
Yeah.
That bump. Year 2 bump.
Maybe they'll bring Nightwing in.
That'd be good. I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see them bringing Nightwing in.
I mean, I really hope that they take with Batwoman. They take they give us Renee Montoya.
Yeah,
they give us Bullock.
Yep.
Like they kind of dive into
GCPD stuff.
Yeah,
they can ignore Gordon
stuff
for the most part, but I would love Bullock. I would love Renee Montoya.
I mean, Batwoman has her own Rogues Gallery, but you can also bring in other Rogues Gallery characters as well.
Yep. So we got all sorts of questions here.
Well, those were some quick hits on those news stories.
Yeah,
well done.
I just wanted to get through them.
He wants to get through.
There was a lot,
fast.
There was
Josh is here.
There was a lot of. I'm sorry. We did have something else to talk about. We could talk about it now, or we could talk about it after questions. It'll be full spoilers.
Just get it out of the way now.
Talking about Venom. Sorry, I knew there was one thing. It was the
questions and Venom, or Venom and questions.
Let's do questions and then Venom.
Charlie,
Okay.
Did you see it? No.
Who saw
didn't
Venom
see
here?
it.
Me, Scott.
Oh,
and Kevin. Not yet.
Wait.
See, I jammed to get it in today, to thinking I would be the odd man out if I hadn't seen it.
no. We're doing 3 or 5.
Hold on, we're doing questions. Let's get
All
to some
right.
questions first. So we're going to do questions, and then if you don't want to hear spoilers for Venom, otherwise stick around, we'll do spoilers for Venom. Well, there's a question about Venom, so let's skip that. That's about James Gunn. Skip that. More stuff about Gunn. Oh, hey, Julian Titus sent me a DM. Let me look at that. Hey, Julian Titus. Julian Titus from the Nerds of the Pants podcast says, question for the podcast. The MCU turned me into a huge fan of Captain America and Thor. I've read a lot of Thor, but all I've read of Cap is Winter Soldier and one issue when I was a kid where Cersei turns him into a teenager, I think. What are some of the must-read Cap stories?
Brubaker.
Before we
the
go
entire Brubaker.
Before we go on, everything that Ed Brubaker did his entire run, it's all available in various graphic novel forms, probably out of print omnibuses. You said you read Winter Soldier. That's the first arc of Ed Brubaker's run. Read all the rest, too. His run's fantastic. Mm-hmm. Now, outside of that, they've released a ton of the original stuff in Epic Collections. A lot of the Silver Age stuff, and then a decent chunk of the modern stuff. There's some good runs in there that's out there. It's always worth grabbing that Volume 1 to check out the real early origins of Captain America. It doesn't have his not the Golden Age stuff, but it's his that stuff's.
But the Lee Kirby Cap stuff from the 60s that was in Tales to Astonish as the co-feature has been collected just as Cap.
Yep. That's the entire thing. Yeah, it's good stuff.
That's really fun.
Did they collect Avengers 4 in there?
There is a Cap epic that has that.
Yeah. I mean, it has to be the first volume, right? Because that's when he comes back. So I wonder if that's... I'll have to go look. I wonder if that's the first book in that collection.
The Epic collection.
No, it doesn't matter. Cap's a tough one. I think the modern runs have all been good. Kirby's Sex run, the more recent, was really fun.
After Heroes Return.
Yeah. I am not a fan of the Rick Remender stuff at all, actually. That's a big skip for me. Some people liked it. He tried to go... in the 70s, Jack Kirby did a run of Captain America that's... I've never read it. I've heard the stories. It's batshit.
Julian Titus has got to track down Captain America's Bicentennial Battles.
Yeah.
Written and drawn by and edited by Kirby, so it's just full, uncut
100%
Kirby.
Weird sci-fi.
Yes, there is no outside influence reining him in.
Yeah.
It's pure Kirby.
Yeah.
That's printed. That was originally a Treasury edition, but it has been printed in the Kirby collected books.
Yeah. I mean, basically, think Jack Kirby's Fourth World with all the weird shit with Captain America now. It's supposed to be really weird stuff.
Steranko.
Yeah.
Definitely worth checking out.
But did they collect that? I mean, that must be like in probably the second Epic collection or something like that. I'm sure his issues are in there.
Yeah, it's only about 6 issues, I want to say. Yeah. And then the Roger Stern and John Byrne run from the, I want to say, early 80s or very late 70s has its own trade. It's called War and Remembrance. It's got a pin that says Captain America for President on the cover. Yeah, that's really good, too.
Yeah, I think 90s to current... the run to beat Brubaker. The Marvel Knights run, which was John Cassaday, some of his early work, that was okay. Like, the first volume's decent enough. I think it's worth reading. That was just post 9/11 too, so there's it's very, very political, obviously.
No, I don't want politics in my comics.
Well, sorry. You're going to get a lot of it, especially with Captain America. Those are the runs that
Captain America's political?
Kind of need to. But yeah, definitely the Brubaker.
Yes, the Brubaker stuff is great.
I heard they're going to start making them orange.
Captain America?
Yeah.
Orange?
Yeah.
Nice.
Like an Oompa Loompa.
Indie Gator says...
to answer, the first Epic collection does have the Avengers 4. It also has the Strange Tales where Cap, quote, comes back, but it's actually, I think it's the Leaper in it. But that's the first time Captain America had been in a Marvel comic since the 50s.
50s, yeah.
And then it goes on for I said Tales to Astonish.
Strange Tales, right?
Tales of Suspense.
Or Tales of Suspense, sorry. Yeah.
So it's the Epic Collection Volume 1 has the great Jack Kirby Silver Age stuff.
Yeah,
a later Epic Collection has the weird Kirby 70s stuff.
Captain America Lives Again. Because the Epic Collections are nice because they kind of just put a name on the side, but on the back is where they give you the volume number.
Yeah. So from Indie Gator, he says...
This was so weird.
Indie Gator.
With John's
He's
Doomsday
ask
Clock...
a binding question.
Snyder's JLA source wall, Morrison's GL deconstruction, and whatever the hell Bendis is doing to Superman. With this all-changing rebirth, where do we end up in a year? And once it's done, how do I best find it?
With Marvel crushing DC once again because they're going to go down the rebirth.
Bryce, when did you Skype in?
Oh, hey, whoa.
Nice to see you.
Sorry about that.
So Doomsday Clock should have been wrapping up right about now when Heroes in Crisis was starting, right? I mean, that was sort of the intent. It's
Doomsday Clock, I feel like, is going to wrap up sometime.
It's July 2019.
Well, Blade Runner was 2047, so 2047.
If it goes as planned, July 2019 is the month.
I don't think I've even read the last 2 issues.
That's really good. The last issue is
the last issue was really good.
But even the one
it
before
could be
that
really
with-
good or not really good. I just don't know when it's coming out.
They did release some other
Sorry,
covers.
the hub.
They released covers
Okay.
for upcoming issues of Doomsday Clock at New York Comic Con. One was just a Legion flight ring floating in space.
with blood.
It's like, a little... But it didn't look like
Was it ketchup?
blood. And it was like something like weird on it. The other was a kid kicking back, I'm assuming in the early 40s sometime, reading All-Star Comics. He's reading the first appearance of the JLA or the JSA, and Dr. Manhattan's on that front cover as well.
Oh,
so
hell yeah.
it's a cool little cover. So yeah, some time travel shenanigans coming up. But I mean, I think the point was Doomsday Clock was going to run into this stuff going on now, right? Snyder tweeted out some photos from New York Comic Con with him and Jeff Johns about their planning for all this stuff kind of coming together, right? It's possible that Doomsday Clock and Dr. Manhattan may be directly in line with the destruction of the Source Wall. That's how he comes through. We don't know, right? I mean, time travel, and that's how he gets around. Morrison's Green Lantern stuff is just him doing a little Green Lantern side story. As far as we know, the entire intent of Morrison's run on Green Lantern is to take Hal Jordan away from the giant cosmic threats and show more police procedural stuff. This is supposed to be kind of a standalone Green Lantern book that isn't universe-ending every issue. All right, that is, I believe, the intent. Bendis and Superman, I don't think that's his stuff is tying in with the greater stories, unless he's bringing back the Legion, in which case that would kind of tie in with Doomsday Clock. But to the best of my knowledge,
So was Craig asking where's it going to be in a year?
yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so in a year, do you think there will be a Legion of Superheroes monthly series
I think Legion and JSA
in a year?
Legion and JSA in a year,
At least announced.
yeah.
Announced? Okay.
No, I think they come. My guess would be Legion and JSA follow up because we already have 3 Jokers coming, right? So whatever sort of like hold off there was on doing anything with the Joker for 3 Jokers in Snyder's Justice League, right? So 3 Jokers is coming. I have to assume by the end of Doomsday Clock, Legion and JSA are back fully. There was rumor that Legion may be coming back sooner than we think, and obviously Bendis' Superman stuff would be the place to do it, right? I don't know. Again, we have no idea. I would have guessed if they were going to do it, it would have been part of this Young Justice stuff. But since Bendis is handling that, it kind of leads me to believe that anything going on with Legion is going to be held off till after Doomsday Clock, which is fine.
They might be holding. It might be something that Johns is going to work on.
Sure. If he's doing Legion after Doomsday Clock, I'll fucking hold it until he's ready, right? Have him and Gary Frank do a monthly Legion book where Gary Frank does 6 issues and someone else does the other 6. 100% okay with that.
So JSA in the 40s or now?
I don't know.
Do you care?
I don't
As a fan.
I love to see. I like the JSA enough, but Johns' take and technically it's not his take. It was it James Robinson and was it Tom Pater? Was that who started that? Right, it was right here the first few issues with them. I mean, their pitch was this is the classic Golden Age guys with their modern day counterparts and sort of the legacy, and that Johns took over and really ran with it. I am 100% down if that's the pitch for another JSA book. I don't need it to just be Wildcat and Alan Scott like in today.
So something more like the All-Star Squadron?
The legacy element of it is why I like the current interpretation of the JSA. I
just want it to be old superhero dudes trying to be superheroes again.
with a couple young kids. It's the way it always is.
That's what it was, right?
They got to push the wheelchairs for them.
That's what they were doing. It's just the book went way off the rails.
Don't be an oldest.
Once Johns got off the book, the book
Ageist.
went way off the rails. I don't know what you do with, I don't want to say only let Johns write it, but you've got to have a real good pitch to. That is a book where it's less about the big superhero battles and more about the character development.
Tom King won't be doing anything at that time.
Well, no. I mean, he's got at least 2 more years on Batman.
Yeah, but he won't be doing Mr. Miracle, and he won't be doing Heroes in Crisis.
So another random tweet of nothing substantial, but he did say that him and Mitch Gerardis were talking about their next book they're doing together post Mr. Miracle. So
what if it's JSA?
It's Sheriff of Babylon, Mr. Miracle, and something else is a trilogy of horrible, soul-crushingly depressing stories. That's not a team I think I want on like a JSA book. Like I don't know what that story is for them. I mean, if they want to redo like the last days of the JSA, I could see Tom King doing some awesome like courtroom drama battle with the JSA in the 40s or in the 50s, getting shut down. Like that's fine, but modern day with Stargirl and like Miss Martian or whatever hanging out with, like I don't really see that.
I just think now with the reintroduction of the multiverse, put them on Earth 2.
Sure.
Well, they're coming out with a Freedom Fighters book.
Yeah.
But
I just mean
I'm excited for.
The quote real world, should we still call it Earth 1 or whatever, is feeling a little overstuffed right now. And I just think the JSA...
I think it's Earth 0. I think that's what they call the DC universe now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I just think, depending on how Freedom Fighters does, which people should check out because it's the Red Sun stuff, right? Where it's like, what if Superman fell in Russia?
For what?
It's in the Red Sun universe.
What is?
Freedom Fighters.
I don't know. Is it?
Yeah.
That's weird.
It's them fighting against the Nazis.
But it's in the Red Sun.
Yeah. What was his title in that one? He was.
I didn't hear anything about that. I mean, I know they're doing the Freedom Fighters comic. I didn't hear anything about being in the.
This is not in.
That's weird.
This is in the. Yeah, this is. I read it in the DC Nation thing.
Huh. I have to go back and take a look at it. Yeah, I totally didn't see that.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be. It was Superman didn't land in Kansas. He landed in Germany or Russia or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, there was that issue of Multiversity that had that world.
Yes,
yeah.
No,
with the Freedom Fighters.
It's spinning out of that.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Too.
Okay.
That's
okay. So it's the multiversity stuff.
It's the multiversity
okay. Not Red Sun. Okay.
I just didn't remember where Red Sun is. He lands in Russia.
Yeah.
The multiversity was he lands in Germany.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's spinning out of that stuff.
Okay, that makes more sense. Okay.
Sorry, it's all red.
Bearded Supervillain asks, any suggestions on reasonably priced framing for large comic prints?
I would think that you know a lot about this.
Yeah, R.I.P. Aaron Brothers and their penny sales. Aaron Brothers, I mean, if they're standard size...
Where's Leanne?
At home.
Nadia's
Being
here.
sick.
Wait, did she?
She got the flu.
You haven't been sick in a while.
Not been
we're
good.
gonna substrate this. What is?
So I got my surgery and everything. I'm good.
But you've given
They ain't
all
got,
your
like, the
illnesses
flu.
to Leanne.
Yeah, she got really bad sick. Really bad cold.
Leanne knows a lot about this. She made you frames.
Yeah. She
You're
framed all the stuff
lucky.
in the store. Frames are either extremely cheap and you buy them as is, or ridiculously expensive because they're custom made. So if it's a regular size print, you should be able to go to any place that sells frames. You can go to Target and just buy a generic print or generic frame there.
Just don't get the metal ones.
For super cheap.
Metal ones.
If it's a weird size, or you want museum glass, which is the really nice glass that doesn't have a glare on
quality.
it, or if you want it's an odd size, or you want custom mats, you could be talking hundreds, if not thousands, of dollars for a frame. The price difference is insane between a stock frame that just sits on the shelf and something custom made. So
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, no, like I went to
Like the kids back in the day
Yeah.
would get their stuff framed at Tap Plastics.
Tap Plastics.
They do framing at Top Plastics?
Oh, fuck yeah. Some really good acrylic frames.
Huh. Okay.
With
No,
like
your
no seed clips.
Leanne's prints that I've gotten from you.
I know. I had my
I
Nagels.
just went to Aaron Art Brothers and bought basic frames, and they work perfectly.
Yeah.
I bought
Well,
them on
Aaron
sale.
Brothers is closed, so
Well, it's Michael's now.
Yeah, but no, it's
Frame
not.
your Harley Quinn.
Some,
No, Aaron Brothers had a high quality framing center.
yeah.
Michael's
daughter.
does
Well,
not have
it's
that.
the same
high-
company. It's the same company.
It doesn't have that high quality of a framing
No,
center.
what I'm saying
though.
is Michaels owns Aaron Brothers. They shut down all the Aaron Brothers. The framing departments of Aaron Brothers, they are renaming the framing departments within Michaels Aaron Brothers. But it has nothing to do with Aaron Brothers. It's just
they're just trying to use the name recognition.
yeah, they're taking the name, putting it
Okay,
into the store.
we're Aaron Brothers.
Hey, remember
inside.
when you went to Aaron Brothers and got frames?
You
They're
can
still
come to Michael's
here.
to get frames at Aaron Brothers. I
Because
don't see how that
Michael's
works.
getting frames done at Michael's sucks.
It's like talking to Scott about Josh.
I have a
Not
couple
letting
questions
it go.
about Venom, some random stuff here. Let's do like one
Why are
or
we not
two
talking
more.
about Venom
We're
yet?
going to. We have one or two more, and then we're going to talk about Venom.
Cinematic brilliance.
This is from I love Halloween Twitter names because everyone changes their name to be spooky. So this is Geo's Spooky Adventure.
Now,
on
see,
Twitter.
that seems like something you would find annoying.
Oh, I find it really annoying because I can't figure out who anyone is anymore.
I was just
Because they changed their picture, too.
Yeah, they changed the picture, they changed their name. Their username is still the same, but they're like.
I like to
like-
think of myself as somewhat Higgins knowledgeable, and you saying that you like when people change the name to Halloween.
No,
that
I
just-
don't.
I know, but
Yeah.
when you said it first sarcastically, it just dinged wrong in my head. I'm glad
Great.
to
Our
know.
listeners are going to be like, I should change my name.
Yeah.
back.
He said, when are you going to start watching My Hero Academia? Charlie, you've been
It's
watching
good.
that.
Yeah.
I heard really good things about it.
Yeah, as far as I know, I'm roughly current, maybe one episode behind.
I do need to watch that.
Yeah.
It
It's
is
really
kind
good.
of the
I like it.
closest to an American superhero anime that's out there, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
they
I
don't
mean,
really do too
it's
much.
it's the traditional young kids with powers.
Yeah.
It's a world where more people have powers than don't.
Okay.
It's a world where more people have powers than don't.
Josh, stop.
That was Scott.
I get it confused.
Nope.
Yes.
Yeah, but no. I really like the story. I really like the way they've kind of set up, again, the idea of legacy, because you have the older heroes and that kind of stuff, and then you have the upcoming new generation. It's good.
Let's do one last one. This is from Jesus. He says,
Jesus.
was the best Batman comic this year Batman and Elmer Fudd? Might be.
Was that?
Was that even this year?
That was last year.
It's the last year? Well, then
That
the
was
answer
last year.
the
I mean,
answer
this
is
year
no.
has felt like about 3 years long, so it's a little hard to tell.
Batman, Elmer
Ever since 2016, the years just seem to get longer.
Well,
longer.
Didn't Doomsday Clock start coming out in 2016?
No, it came out in 2017.
No, I was
Oh,
kidding.
it was
I was
last year.
actually
Huh.
kidding.
So no, I'm sorry. It's just no, sorry. That was June 2017. Jesus Christ.
Elmer Fudd was June 2017?
Yeah, man.
Man, that's a
so
long
no,
time ago.
no. Best Batman comic this year was not Batman and Elmer
No, that
Fudd.
was over a year ago, though.
Okay, that's a great question to end on. We'll just
No,
end
it
on that one.
wasn't.
That's all I got.
No,
okay.
it wasn't. Get
There's
another
been some-
question.
Here's a great one. You can answer this one, Brock.
Oh,
This
shit.
is from Mike. He says, "Where do you see Marvel going in the next 5 years, comic-wise?" Yeah, do you think so?
To the moon, no way.
I mean, they've been doing some good stuff here and there, but I don't think they've completely course corrected.
Okay.
I want
when
them
you've
to
got
be
a
good.
brand that's this strong, you don't need to completely course correct.
you
You
can
just
just
need to start
publish
sending
shit
it in
and
the
people will buy
right
it.
direction. It is going in the
Well,
right direction.
So I haven't been caught up with Thor, but when I've picked up a Thor book, I'm like, this art just makes me not want to read it, even though I've been reading
Brock,
the Jason
yeah.
Thor.
For years, Thor was terrible, and they still published it. For years,
They're still publishing Iron Man, but
years,
people don't
Thor
know it's
was
Iron Man
awful.
because it's called Tony Stark. We'll see, but it's again with their back end publishing stuff that they do all the time with the variants and all that stuff. Because how many variants were there going to be for Moon Knight 200?
Variants have nothing to do with whether or not the books are currently good or not.
There's just a lot of variants. Or sorry, there's not a lot of variants, but there is a 1 in 1,000 variant for Moon Knight 1000. Marvel in the next
Moon Knight
5
200.
years.
Moon Knight 1000?
No, sorry, a 1 in 1,000 cover for Moon Knight.
Was gonna
Sorry,
say,
number
wow,
two,
have I been asleep on that title?
200. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
you were missing out on Moon Knight 1000.
Marvel, I think, has positioned themselves in a pretty good place right now because they sort of figured out the big mistake they made in 2016 and 2017 of they realize they can have their cake and eat it too, as the expression goes. They can have their old guys, they can have their new kids, and they can do both at the same time. Marvel went from publishing a shitload of comics to actually very few for a little while to now publishing a goddamn shitload of comics. Like a crazy amount of comics. There's a lot of books out these days. And it's just...
And we're going to get 3 Conan titles.
From the end of last year to the beginning of this year, Marvel has increased their output dramatically. So yeah, they're just going bananas, and I think it's the right path. I mean, things like killing Daredevil, whatever, that shit annoys me, but I think they're on the right path with most of their titles. They've brought back the X-Men to prominence, the Fantastic Four, the Avengers books are the Avengers book singular is doing really well, right? This is the way it should be. Now, I don't care if you have, like, 2 Spider-Man titles. I don't even care if you have 2 Avengers titles. It's when you have, like, 7, that's when shit really falls apart.
Yep.
And they have so many great characters that they can do things with. You don't need to focus on just the title with a bunch of bullshit adjectives in front of it that literally are meaningless these days. Books like Amazing Spider-Man, the Fantastic Four, the Uncanny X-Men, these work. There's a history behind these titles. You can do whatever you want with all the new characters, but I think they're on the right path. This past year has gone way better for Marvel than the last few years has, at least for us and its seeming industry. We'll see. Yeah, I'm very confident in the next few years of Marvel. I think they really turn the ship around.
What are they going to mash up next?
I mean, they do shit like that. But here's the thing. There's a bunch of shit that I order barely anything of, and there's a handful of DC books that I don't order too much of.
Yeah.
Right? I don't care if they do these little funky mashups for Infinity War. It's not going to lead to anything. But I assume stores aren't stocking those like crazy. Spider-Geddon seems like fun, but with like 17 crossover books, like I don't need to stock those. But it's fine because the main book will do well, and the book will just go on and do whatever. That's fine. Yeah, I don't know. Or they could fuck it all up in the garbage in 2 years. I have no clue.
Like DC seems to be doing with Black Label?
Yeah.
They've had 1 title so far.
Charlie perks up, gets a little crabby about that.
Just some Black Label stuff. There's nothing to talk about. There was some weird rumors about like maybe DC's holding back on what they're going to allow on Black Label as opposed to being kind of free for creators to do what they want. I have no idea. We'll figure it out later. I'm going to talk about Venom.
Yes!
This is your spoiler warning. If you haven't seen Venom or you care, stop listening to this podcast because we're going to talk about Venom.
We're going to cover anything else after Venom?
Nope, that's it.
Then I guess I'll take off since I haven't seen Venom.
Are you going to see it?
Eventually, maybe.
Okay.
That's the right answer, Charlie.
Should.
Eventually, maybe. At a midnight showing when people are starting to throw rice and spoons.
At the Oaks?
At the Oaks or the Hacienda or the Palo Alto Square or
the
Varsity.
Let Nadia and Charlie leave, so
We're in like 30
bye.
years.
What other
on-
cheesy
when it's
theaters?
on-
The Old Mill.
The Old Mill. Wow, that's a throwback.
Well, we're going to be talking about Venom here now.
Mill, a shout out. Love it.
Last week when we were recording, myself and Scott decided while we were recording the podcast to buy a few seats down for me to come with me to suffer through Venom. Clearly a terrible, terrible movie.
So he sat near you, but not with
we
you.
sat next to
We
each other.
switched.
Oh,
we switched.
okay.
Yeah, we switched with the guy. We're like, it was like 6 single guys all in a row, just sitting. No one cared where we sat. So,
Hey, man, what's going on? Hey, man. Can I sit here? Sure.
So I know we both walked into the theater thinking this is
Gonna be a
This is
crap
gonna be
hole.
terrible. All right, this is just gonna be awful. The reviews were terrible. People were like, it's as bad as Catwoman. The trailers look awful. I had no idea that Eminem did like the theme song in the end of the movie. Like it just seems like it's gonna be the biggest shit show ever.
No.
So I'll give you kind of my let's go like in half an hour segments through the movie, and then I want to hear what you guys thought of it.
I'm just here for the entertainment.
So the first 30 minutes or so, I was like, yeah, man, this movie it's just kind of dull. Eddie Brock's just kind of the schlub. Tom Hardy's he's just not
He's a human with
good.
skin.
Nah, barely.
Did it seem like he was mailing that in?
Like,
I mean, was he drunk the whole
I
time?
want to say words that are not socially acceptable to say anymore. He seemed like he was acting poorly. I don't know how else to say it. Like, he did not come. Let's just say he did not come off like the world's greatest investigative reporter, as the movie claimed he was.
It's just terrible.
He seemed very bad at his job. Okay, and I'm a little bored, but I'm like, okay, well, it's kind of generic. Let's just get this going. Let's see where they go with this.
But didn't they fix something though in that first 30 minutes?
Well, yeah, we'll get to that. So then Venom shows up, and this movie, for half a second, it thinks it's a horror movie, and you're like, okay, I could go with a horror Venom movie. That's cool. That's all right. But oh no, it's not. This isn't a horror movie. This is the Three Stooges movie. Now, I love the Three Stooges, by the way. Don't get me wrong. I own all the DVDs. I love the Three Stooges. I've seen every episode 100 times.
So you
every
like,
movie.
You like
times.
videos online when people get hit in the balls?
No, I hate that. That's stupid. I love the Three Stooges though. This movie goes from boring to the ridiculous in like a flash, and the whole rest of the movie, I'm just thoroughly enjoying it. It is bad. It's stupid. It's poorly acted. It's bad dialogue. It's cheesy setup. Nothing makes sense. It clearly was supposed to be an R-rated movie, and they decided at the last minute to pull all the gore and all the shots of violence away. No one's great in the movie. Tom Hardy is... I don't know what. He's high or something. He could barely mumble out a sentence. And yet, one of the greatest superhero movies. It's the funniest thing I think I've ever seen in my life. It is so weird. It's hilarious. It's just so bad. I read a review when we left calling it the Room of superhero movies. The Tommy Wiseau, The Room.
That's very apropos.
And I'm like, yeah, that really works.
Where's Chris Phillips when I need him?
He came in earlier and I told him about that. And he's like, I'm going to go see this movie now. It really is. It really does fall into that so bad it's good category. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. Now, Scott's next to me. He's cracking up and then telling me how bad it is at the same time. And I'm like, no, I think it's just really good. It's not... I mean, there was a level of, obviously, quality production of this. This is a big budget movie, a superhero movie made in America. So clearly, it's not going to be, just a train wreck like The Room was. This isn't 2001. It's not going to be Elektra or Catwoman or something. I mean, we are past those. People that say it's as bad as Catwoman, no, nothing is as bad as Catwoman.
Catwoman was bad and boring.
Yeah,
that's the
right,
problem.
Right.
Even with Halle Berry looking very nice in the outfit, was bad and boring and bad.
The tweet I sent out before we watched it, I said, I wonder if this is going to be Ghost Rider bad or Ghost Rider 2 good. Because Ghost Rider 2 Spirits of Vengeance is fucking amazing. It's awful. It is awful. But it is so good of how stupid it is. This movie falls.
You want your movie to be that bad? It's good.
This is.
You don't want your movie to fall into the category of like X-Men Apocalypse, where it's just
said it 100 times.
It's just a bonfire of shit.
Bad and boring is. Boring is worse than bad. Boring is way worse than bad because at least like this, I can laugh at the movie. Like, I think it was the line when he's on top of the tower, and they're like. He jump. It's just him in front of the elevators, and then the Venom symbiote is just like pussy, and it like just sets the stage for the rest of the movie, and it never stops. And it's when the Venom symbiote, and it is symbiote, by the way.
Thank you, Internet.
Attacks people, and he's like, whoa, whoa. It's like some weird Jim Carrey, like Three Stooges, like
straight from The Mask.
It is. It's so weird and just so funny. Now I know why, Kevin. I know why you hate it.
I didn't.
I know why you hate this movie. Why do you hate this movie? I know why you hate this movie, because it has an evil version of the hero as the villain.
Of course it does.
Right.
And that's when I thought of you. I'm not even kidding.
I honestly thought of you when I saw that scene. I was like,
Kismet.
I was like, oh, Kevin's going to hate this.
Yeah.
Anti-Venom is in this?
No. It was a Riot, right? It's one
Riot,
of the other symbiotes from early.
But it's just like, of course that's what they do. Of course, a cherry on top of the shit sundae. And it was not boring. I wasn't bored. The beginning is not good.
Yeah.
The beginning is filled with just like the most stock.
Oh, just cliche
like,
as hell. Yeah.
When the hero walks in the liquor store.
You know
and somebody,
exactly.
Yeah. Like how long until the robber comes in?
Right.
And of course, it's a guy comes in.
And he doesn't stop at the first time.
Holds the gun sideways. Give me all the money.
Yeah.
And they're like, my God. The first, what was that? The first half hour, maybe?
Yeah, I think it's really the first half an hour.
Because there's no Venom.
There's nothing. Yeah.
It's just Tom Hardy's life and then these random scenes in Malaysia.
Yeah.
After a space shuttle crash.
Yeah. And again, you get the idea that
crashed in the space shuttle.
Oh yeah,
John
Jameson. Yes, that got me excited for a second.
Just for a second, I'm like, where's Manwolf?
Yeah, until he dies. But
John Jameson, Manwolf.
Once the Venom. Okay, so you guys, I don't know. I should just say this: my Venom knowledge is as the evil version of Spider-Man's black costume.
Yeah.
I have never read a Venom solo comic ever.
Okay.
I just know him from that era when the symbiote went on to left Peter Parker and went on to what's the guy's name?
Eddie Brock.
Yeah, I just literally saw the movie hours ago and I can't remember.
Not very memorable.
So this is
I remember his name.
So this is my first Venom solo outing.
Yeah.
And it was funny. It is very masky, but it so obviously was rated R.
Yeah.
There's
They cut.
Yeah.
Every time the violence is about to
There's a
happen.
body where the head gets bitten off and the body is dropped on the ground. And the very next shot where he's walking away, there is no body on the ground, no blood.
Yeah, nothing.
It's just like it was just entirely snipped and a new shot was inserted.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
So you're telling me to wait for the R-rated director's cut on Blu-ray?
Yes. Yeah.
That's going to be the one people are throwing spoons at
I
in the
really
future.
am curious if there's going to be an R-rated cut, right? Because, I mean, there's talk. We were talking about this in the Geekbox last night. I totally want one. But then I've read stuff that it was never going to be rated R, that these other scenes don't exist. And I'm like, but
how do they not exist?
How do they not exist? Yeah, it's like you go right to that line and it feels like they are cut. It doesn't feel like they don't film it. It feels like they cut a bunch of stuff out.
There are hard edits.
Yeah.
You don't even have to be tuned into editing in movies to get it. It just you feel it. It's like whiplash.
Yeah.
At several points.
Yeah.
Iron Man 2.
Now they do as Brock was alluding to before. And I did catch it the very first time and I thought it was just weird, but then as it kept going, I realized what they did. They edited every instance of someone saying symbiote, which if you remember the trailers, in the trailers they pronounce it symbiote. And everyone on the internet went, what the what? Like, it's symbiote. That's how they've always pronounced it. That's how it is pronounced. It's symbiote, not symbiote. And they ADR'd the entire movie and fixed everyone's dialogue in the movie to pronounce it correctly, which is
Tom Hardy,
which is actually great that they did that because
Tom Hardy doesn't have luck with that.
It would have really annoyed me.
So this is how I felt about it. First 10 minutes. All right, they're building. This could be okay. I mean, Tom Hardy, look, just play Mad Max because you were very good in that. And he was good in Peaky Blinders as well. But just stop. He was okay, but you're thinking it would be okay. And then it started getting worse and worse and worse and worse and better. Oh, my God. This is terribly fantastic.
Yeah.
Did they do this on purpose? Is this the way it's supposed to be? It reminded me one of like a foreign film, like an American-made film made by a Chinese company that had you know what I'm talking about, that has almost a slapstick feel to it, but I think it was supposed to be real. And
it definitely, like,
and you're like, how? It's not. It's not real. It's terrible and amazing at the same time. Okay. Once you get over the fact that it goes over the boundary of terrible,
yeah,
gosh, it gets so much momentum and it's so fun.
It's so fun.
It is very fun.
Yes.
And but I feel like I'm, okay, this is where I feel bad about it. I feel like I'm making fun of the special kid at school. That's what it feels like.
Jesus Christ. Like, to his
You know what I
face,
mean?
to his
You're
face
like
or behind his
watching
back?
You're watching him and
To
you're
his
like
face
laughing,
or
and
behind
you're
his
like,
back?
God, this
But
feels so
our
terrible.
audience was laughing. I mean, they got some chuckles.
Yeah, no, the whole audience. That's why I think it was supposed to be like this.
Yeah.
Because the whole audience started laughing when you're not really supposed to laugh.
Some of it.
But it was like,
I mean, him sitting in the lobster tank in the restaurant.
Oh, that was
Yes,
awesome.
so
Awesome.
great.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
And there's a period of the movie that's full of that kind of stuff.
Oh, so
that's
good.
really where it comes alive.
Sitting in the
Unfortunately,
lobster tank?
well, so the symbiote,
The symbiote?
yes, that thing has a
So
like is
good.
very picky about what it wants to eat. So he's like trying all these foods, and the thing, it doesn't like them. And so, but then there's living
Yeah.
lobsters in a tank in a restaurant. So he climbs in Tom Hardy, not Venom,
yeah.
sits down in this lobster tank and starts like chomping on these lobsters in the middle of a fancy restaurant. It's incredible.
So why doesn't the symbiote...
Symbiote doesn't want dead things.
Yeah, but
like-
why isn't it the one eating it?
You know what? Don't even. You're already thinking too much.
yeah, you need to stop.
That's more thought than they
just
put
stop.
into it.
So,
yeah.
like, the Venom
And go
head
watch
didn't
the
come
movie.
on
No,
and start
no.
eating? It
Just
was just Tom
stop.
It's
Hardy?
just he hears its voice in his head.
Just stop and go see it. You're
No,
thinking
I'm
too
going to wait
much.
for the R-rated director's cut.
There's no R-rated director's cut.
Red Sox going to the championship game. Fuck you, Yankees. Anyway, move on. Sorry. I've been keeping an eye on it.
It's his second favorite Brock.
Brock Hall last night. Oh, it was so good.
I'm his first
I've been keeping an eye on the game the whole time. Sorry, we were just in the bottom of the ninth and the Red Sox won. So thank you. They almost lost.
So could we-
anyway,
Could we-
Venom.
would
Let's
you-
get back to Venom.
Ryan,
Let's get back to Venom.
Would you recommend Venom? If somebody said, "Should I go see it?"
Oh, absolutely.
I'd have to caveat them.
Well, this is the problem, right? I was terrified when I watched The Room because I thought it had been too hyped up about how bad it was that I thought it was actually going to just be really bad and I was going to hate it. And that's not the case. The Room is genius. It's fucking awful, but I loved it, right? Venom is not that. Venom is a pretty poor superhero film in a day of awesome superhero movies, right? But if you can reverse time, not listen to this podcast, go in thinking it's going to be terrible, maybe smoke a bowl beforehand.
Yeah, I second that.
And then go. I don't smoke pot, by the way, but I think that would help your enjoyment of this movie.
Yeah.
Go with a couple friends and just laugh at the ridiculousness of this movie because it does. Like the reviews are right, but their end result of those reviews are wrong. It is everything the reviews say, but it is a fun movie because of it.
It feels like a 1998 movie
Yeah.
that was just unearthed
Yeah.
out of a time capsule now.
Yes, right, exactly. Right, yeah. And a lot of those reviews were like, yes, this feels like this came from some like pre-Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like
No, though. It was just terrible in another way. It was brilliantly awful in a way that I've never experienced before. And that alone means
Yep.
that you should watch it.
ooh, pardon me. Yeah, we're not quite. I think I threw my shoulder out there. Jesus. hell.
So
Threw your shoulder out sneezing?
Oh man, that was a big sneeze.
Time to
Well,
go to the gym, dude.
So
Yeah, I
look,
know, it's
here's
really
the
bad.
sandwich that how I would rate it. The two pieces of bread are not good. They are stale. They are moldy.
Yeah.
The first piece of bread is all of this Tom Hardy going through his life getting fired, losing his girlfriend, etc.
Yeah, yeah.
The bottom half of bread is this terrible battle against a goddamn evil duplicate of the same. Oh. In the middle of those two pieces of bread is some very entertaining, dumb, Three Stooges level comedy action featuring Venom.
Yep.
I've decided to stay.
We didn't even get to that.
I kind of like you people. Can we eat this guy?
No,
we can't eat anybody anytime.
He's fighting Venom. He's fighting Venom basically internally this whole time, right? And out of nowhere, Venom's like, I think I like humans. I think I'm going to stay. You're a loser, but I was the loser on my planet, so I like you. And you're like, where did any of this come from? Again, like The Room, there's sort of these things come up and you're like, wait, what? And then they never mention it again.
Wait, Venom was a loser? He was a loser sibling?
And he knows enough about Earth society to judge Tom Hardy as a loser.
Minutes, right? But or within a day. But this whole thing is isn't Venom part of this elite first group heading to Earth with the big bad evil military symbiote to basically prep it to take over? Isn't that that's what they set up, right?
Yeah.
Was he the janitor that accidentally came down with them or something?
He's the Mr. Smith of the symbiotes.
I just don't get where that. Where does that?
Yeah.
It doesn't.
No, a lot doesn't make sense. Tom Hardy, when he gets possessed by the Venom, is led into that lab by that doctor.
Yeah.
And then he's just free to roam around this high-tech, high-security, no cameras,
nothing.
One guard on duty on the top floor. He's just free in the
yeah.
basement.
And if you look at the size of that building for where it is on the hills across the bay from San Francisco, that thing's 7 miles long.
Yeah.
It's the biggest facility in the world.
Yeah.
Okay, people that make films need to realize nothing in San Francisco happens on the Golden Gate Bridge. Nobody goes on the Golden Gate Bridge. No one is over there except for tourists. Nothing happens over there. That's Napa. You just put that in Napa. Bring stuff into the city. This way. South of the Golden Gate Bridge. I know everyone knows the Golden Gate Bridge, but that's not where anything is.
On the other side, even where it was, that's protected lands.
Yeah,
that's national forest.
That's
and there's a rocket. There's a literal outer space rocket on a launch pad in the Marin Headlands.
It's like you were heading into Napa at that point. No, that's not. No, that would never. No,
but it looks like Cape Canaveral. It's not only that research facility; they've got a launch pad of a rocket.
At least they could have taken the what's the part where Pixar or where Lucas is down the San Francisco not the Embarcadero what's it called? It used to be the army base.
Treasure Island?
No.
Oh, the Presidio.
The Presidio. Sorry. At least you can fake the Presidio to be that if you're they sold the Presidio to the next.
And they put a rocket on it.
They put a fucking rocket on it. I believe that
bullshit.
more than
Right.
No rocket.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, they have to cancel some rocket launches in Florida because of weather. The worst possible place you could put a rocket for space is in this area.
Yeah.
Go to SFO.
It's very windy there. Yeah. They can't even fly planes in there half the time.
Yeah.
I
Chuck a rocket off in the Marin Headlands. This is terrible radio because anybody that's outside of this area is like,
what are
those guys talking about?
Yeah, no, well, this is the complaint whenever they do stuff in San Francisco. It's again, the Golden Gate Bridge is a cool thing that tourists look at, but it's not something that people use. Hell, if you're in the Bay Area, you go up Oakland to go across. You don't take the 101 and then go across the Golden Gate Bridge. That's a nightmare.
Bridge.
Yeah, you go East Bay and around. You never go that way. I mean, again, I guess if you live there, if you live in San Francisco, I mean, I guess you go that way. But nobody else goes that way. So anyway, that's just
I hate
Bay
to
Area.
tell you, it's really crowded in the morning, every morning.
The Golden Gate Bridge?
Yeah.
Well, sure, because there's people coming in. And
you said nobody uses it.
people.
We're now in
Well,
good
the
radio.
people in the North Bay, they really only got one
landed.
option.
If you're on
The North Bay has
again,
one option.
If you were on that side coming into San Francisco, you're in San Francisco, go in there. That's fine. But nobody else in the entire Bay uses the Golden Gate Bridge.
And this Bay Area traffic report brought to you by
Yes.
the Comic Conspiracy.
Yes.
Brought to you by Venom.
Anyway, I mean, again, your question: would you recommend it? It's not
You
great.
didn't even answer while I was gone.
No.
It's not great, but it's so good.
Did you talk about the
It's
last
just so good.
end credit yet?
No, I'll talk about that in a second. So
Yes, I would recommend it.
yeah,
If you like awful movies. If you like
That's quite a lead-in.
if growing up you watched dubbed Chinese karate movies, then this is for you. And you thought they were amazing. This is for you. If you watch CW television shows, this is for you.
I'm just gonna wait.
Don't do it.
I'm gonna wait.
You need all the epic big screen.
I'm really glad I waited
Recommend
for
or
that.
thumbs up and
X-Men
thumbs
Apocalypse.
down.
man. Oh,
It's a difficult one.
it is because it's not good.
No.
And there's no way you can couch the argument
No.
to present it as good. I guess
No.
the Venom looks cool.
No. I think it looks terrible.
Okay.
well, his head's weirdly small.
Yeah.
I think it looks awful. And how does it get that big? Eddie Brock's not that big. Venom's not that big.
Yeah, okay.
I'm sorry. I guess
right.
they draw him pretty big
Eddie
in
Brock
comics
in the
these
comics
days.
is fairly large.
Okay.
he's built.
In the movie,
In the movie,
he's
Tom
like the
Hardy's
size of the Hulk.
No, Tom Hardy's one step above what's his name that played it in Spider-Man.
Venom.
In
Venom.
the movie,
But Venom is the size of the Hulk.
Yeah.
Venom is the size of the Hulk. And I'm like, how did he get 7 feet tall?
Yeah,
Must have been
he's
all that-
real
must-
big in the movie.
Must have been all that lobster he ate.
I would have to recommend. I'd have to have somebody tell me like a superhero movie they like first, and then based on that, I would say,
Well, you know, when
What if
you
I liked Catwoman?
well look at the
This is
look
for
at
you.
yeah. If you like Ghost Rider 2, you should see Venom.
look at the DC movies you don't like, right? I mean, like stuff like Suicide Squad or Green Lantern, right? I mean,
No, there's a different kind of not like
Yeah.
that.
well, that's what I mean, right? So I like these movies. I like those movies actually quite a bit. But to me, the flaws in those movies are not something you can laugh at. They're just kind of flaws of a movie. The flaws in Venom are so much bigger than those movies, but it's that effect where it wraps back around, and you're like, this is ridiculous, but I can laugh at it.
I think I would go off that by saying, I think and I'm completely one of those people now who's just guessing at the motives of others.
Yeah.
I think the creators of Venom were aiming lower.
Yeah.
And I think they hit what they were aiming at. I don't know that I would laud them for that, but I think they achieved. I think the makers of those DC movies, and now I cannot talk about the Green Lantern movie in an unbiased way, so let's just leave that aside.
Yeah.
Okay? I just can't go into that. Suicide Squad, not to relitigate this case, with all of the resources in the Warner Brothers arsenal and all of that talent, both in front of and behind the camera, I found it inexcusable that was the product that came out of it.
Yeah.
This feels like a Canon Films mid 80s, like just Charles Bronson as Venom. You know what I mean? It aims low and it hits what it aims at, and it's never boring. Well, okay, the beginning is dull.
Yeah.
But the Venom parts
Yeah.
are never boring, but they're not good.
Yeah.
Well, it's like Green Lantern, for how bad it was, it still had some things that were good
No,
in it.
this is not that kind of bad.
No,
this is not bad. This is not bad as in bad. This is bad as in.
Well, no. The thing is from what you guys have been saying,
This is epically bad.
Is like it has a bad consistency to it that it sticks to throughout the entire thing, right? Whereas like Green Lantern had those scenes that were really good, that really like the stuff on Oa, you're just like, holy crap, this is. But then it's like the rest of the movie just doesn't. It's just bad.
It's bad because it's meh. Venom is bad because they fully succeeded. They fully 100% succeeded at being awful, which is amazing. It's like watching an 0-16 football team. You're like, come on, lose the last game. Lose the last game. Let's see perfection. I want perfection.
I want that perfect loss season.
Yes.
Well, that's Venom. That's our Venom talk. Hope you enjoyed
You
it.
have to talk the end
Oh
scene.
yeah, end credits. I had absolutely no idea this was coming.
Were there 2 scenes or one?
There's one scene in like a movie preview.
Okay, I stayed for the one in the middle of the credits, and then I'd had enough.
Yeah,
so I don't know. I can't.
had enough.
Well,
That
I
was
feel like
it.
I got my money's worth.
The thing,
like,
the
I'm
thing,
outta
the
here.
thing after the movie was just a trailer for Spider-Man Spider-Man whatever.
The animated?
Spider-Verse thing, Edge of Spider-Verse or whatever it's
yeah,
called.
Edge of
Yeah, the animated movie coming up. That's all it was. It had nothing to do with Venom. Nothing to do with Venom.
Okay.
It was literally a trailer for the next movie.
But they had a trailer for that before Venom.
Yeah, and after. It was like new stuff.
Okay.
You didn't miss anything.
So then the middle scene is what we're talking
the middle
about.
scene,
Yeah.
I had no idea this was coming.
You knew it had to be coming somewhere.
I had no idea who was in it.
Oh, this is true.
Well, when it was, we're in spoilers.
Yeah, you can say whatever.
The Woody Harrelson Ronald McDonald was awesome.
So do you know who this is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Based on the end,
Right.
I
So
didn't
that's-
know until that.
So that's Cletus Cassidy, who is also known as Carnage,
Yeah.
right? In the comics, he's a serial killer, right? Who gets a symbiote, right? Now, when this happened, when they cut to the scene, I'm like, okay, red hair, it's Cletus Cassidy. You know this was coming, right? They try to pull off some weird, like, Silence of the Lambs, like some reason he's talking to this serial killer that he had talked to before. Okay, he knows Cletus Cassidy. That's fine. I didn't realize it was Woody Harrelson for like a heartbeat. And Scott's like, is that? And I'm like, is what?
It's Woody.
No. What?
but he
Yes.
looks like
Wo-
Ronald McDonald.
Woody Harrelson, yes, 100% in a Ronald McDonald red wig.
Like such an angry Ronald McDonald. It's like Ronald McDonald just gone
Playing
bad.
like a hillbilly Ronald McDonald serial
Just out
killer.
of costume.
Yeah.
He's
The
out of
makeup's
costume.
wiped off, but that's his real hair.
He got off work.
Again, it's so
good.
stupid
It made it so
that I
good.
need this to happen.
I know.
Based on how much it made, it is the number one grossing movie.
It broke $80 million US, which, considering the expectations were like low high 50s, low 60s, it broke 200 worldwide. Like, this did okay for them. This did again. Look, this isn't Infinity War, but it was never going
but
to
it
be.
broke all highest October box office opening.
Yeah. I mean, you put any other MCU movie in and it breaks that record
Oh.
in October. But
It's going to gain some steam too. You know it.
I'd be very curious because the fan
feel like
reactions have actually been fairly positive.
I feel like it's so bad, people are going to go out and see it.
I would love for this. And again, I want it to be successful because I need Woody Harrelson as Carnage. Because it's so stupid, but it's so good.
But don't
It's
you
so
feel?
good.
Don't you feel like the next one will come out, and they'll be like, "Wow, the first one was so good,"
And the second one's just going to be
and they're
going to
really think it was good.
The second one's just going to be fucking awful.
It'll just be bad
it'll
and
just be
not
bad.
like
Not good
epically bad.
Yeah, and that's because you
Unless
can't do
they
that.
have Tommy Wiseau
I don't
direct
think
it,
you
which
can do
would
that
be
on
amazing.
purpose, right? I mean, I think these, like you said, they aim low, they hit low, and it just kind of clicked the right way. I think if they intend to make it bad, it just won't.
What if?
Work.
It'll have
They
your favorite
hired-
like jokes all throughout it.
What if they hired Tommy Wiseau
I mean,
and he actually decided, "Well, I'm sorry, Tom Hardy, I'm going to be."
I'd be
But
fine
see,
with
that ending scene is kind of a capsule of the entire movie.
I can see-
there are things in it that are awesome, and there are things in it that are ridiculous,
Yeah.
and there are things in it that are you just go, oh, come on.
I
Yeah,
can see
yeah.
Kevin just getting up and leaving as fast as possible. Right
out.
at the end of it, that's it. I'm done. I've
Yeah.
had enough of this.
Yep. Pretty
I'm
much.
not waiting for the next one.
Now,
I'm out.
the dudes that rolled in a Venom T-shirt for
Two
this
of them.
movie, there were
bros,
two of them.
Venom Bros.
Right when Venom goes big and eats that guy's head, they were like, yeah! So, like, the Venom people like this movie, right? Like, I had a guy that came into the store and he was legitimately like, juicy Venom? It was fucking awesome. And I was like, it was really bad, but it was great. He's like, no, it was awesome. And I'm like, okay, cool. I can't say anything with the movies I like, so I'm glad you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it too, just for very different reasons than him.
Yes.
But it was a good time. Good times. Venom is very fun.
So we want Woody Harrelson as Carnage.
Oh, he is Carnage.
You should see him though, Brock, in this.
It's the
Not even as
so-
Carnage,
it's so
just
funny.
as the
Yeah.
normal guy. It's
Well, and then in the Carnage movie, they'll have to bring Juliette Lewis in somehow.
We are going to wrap up. Go watch Venom if you haven't seen it. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Or if you're a reasonable person like me, wait for the R-rated director's cut.
You could do that too. I pray there's one. There has to be. Thank you, Julian Titus, for your question earlier. You should go visit Julian Titus at pixelbit.com and listen to his pants. Listen to his podcast. Hello, pants. Nerds Without Pants. Ryan Hess has Blowhards, which is a video game podcast at blowhards.libsyn.com. Man, I really cannot talk tonight. Jody Lawson is Canon, the Triad Comics Anthology at triadcomicstudios.com. Got to thank our good friends Sam Trey, Craig Anderson, Joe Duff, as well as Andrew Nelson Mendez, who has the Recovery of a Anime Junkie podcast. Find that on iTunes. Darfox8 over on Manga Machinations. Larry Davis at the Stand and Deliver podcast about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And Paige Turner's a comic book podcast. You can find them at pageturnerspodcast.libsyn.com. Not the T. It's the podcast hosting site, Libsyn, LIBSYN.com. You can rate and review us on iTunes or go to comicspiracypodcast.com to find this and all our previous episodes if you want to re-listen to them, or on the YouTube channel at youtube.com/comicsconspiracy. That's comics with an S. Also store stuff on there occasionally. It's comicspiracy@geekbox.net is where you can send some long-form questions if you want to do that.
We don't even answer those.
I got a couple. Kick us a few bucks at patreon.com/comicspiracy. It helps fund the podcast and gets our hosting up and everything like that. It kicks these guys back some credit for their time here on the podcast, helping me out.
Thank you. It is appreciated.
Yeah. Digital.comicsconspiracy.biz is where you can go pick up all your digital comic books. Tons of sales on there all the time. You can read these on your iPod.
Did they have a Venom sale?
You can read these on your iPad.
iPod? How big's your iPod get?
Yeah. You can read these on your iPad, your tablet, your personal computer, if you would like.
Is that a desktop?
It's a desktop, yeah. Your PC or your laptop. Comicsconspiracy.biz is our physical storefront online where you can buy all sorts of stuff, including the Walking Dead Comics Conspiracy Store exclusive variant cover, reprinting issue number 1 with our logo on the cover. Rick Grimes, he's protecting the comics conspiracy from a horde of walkers.
It looks like a horde of walkers came out of there.
It's a pretty cool cover.
It's a cool cover.
You should check that out.
Walking Dead Day is Saturday.
Yeah, Walking Dead Day is this Saturday. We're going to have that cover available there, as well as a bunch of variant covers from Walking Dead's 15 years as a comic book.
Yeah, they're reprinting a lot of the key issues.
Yep.
1, 2... 1927.
First appearance of
Michonne,
first appearance of Governor, first appearance of Negan,
Abraham.
Yeah, a lot of first appearance issues.
Issue 100 is getting another cover.
Yeah, that's the Negan one. Yeah, that's Saturday, all day Saturday. It'll be here. Yeah, definitely check that out. SpiritofBrock.com, that's Brock's blog and video pull list. Wanderers in the Fourth Dimension, that's Charlie's Doctor Who podcast. New season just started. Killer first episode. Just go check it out. Jada Whittaker is really strong. Etsy.com/shop/Leanne Hill Art. That is my wife Leanne's Etsy store. You can buy art from her on there. We're all on Twitter. Ryan Higgins, Ryan, Brock Sager, Larson Bryce, Toby XI, Insanity and Chaos is Charlie. Comics Con store is a store. CS Shea is Scott, and That's Kevin Sharp is... That Kevin Sharp over there. Check out Geekbox Comedy Button, Manga Machinations, and The Infinite Binge on YouTube. Those are all our friends in our little network here. And
a quick question.
Hey, what's up?
Josh, question.
No, shut up.